Okay, good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing? Okay, so it's a Sunday. I can't believe it. We're talking about court procedure on a Sunday. It's mind-boggling to me. So I hope to make this worth your while. And there is a lot to cover, unfortunately. So I have made an executive decision that I'm going to skim through some of my slides, knowing that the information is there for you to look at. I'll point out where you need to look at, but I'm not going to go into detail for each one. That's to save your sanity, in as much as it's to save mine. Okay, so uh, uh, one last starting point, which is, I looked online to see what kind of information is out there for case conferences, and I truly believe that the information you're going to get today is completely different and more helpful. So this is what I I struggle with case conferences for every single client, and you will see the struggle as we go through this. And hopefully you'll find your voice because that's what's most important here. Okay, so let's just start. All right. So before you can talk about a case conference, and it's funny because I could say, oh, it's your first time going to court, unless you had a first appearance and all that. Let's just get grounded a little bit. Okay, so first, like all the videos in this series, where are we in this process, right? So if trial is at the very end of this straight line, and we hope it's straight, you're right over here. The application has been served, the answer has been served, and if there's a Form 10A reply, then that has been served as well. And you are getting ready now to prepare for your case conference. And so that's exactly where you are in the world. You're almost like at first base, to use a baseball analogy. And the question is, what are you expecting to happen at this attendance, and how do you prepare for it? Okay. As Heather said, there's a materials box, and in it are the blank lawyer forms, which are a little bit more accessible. For the Form 17, which is the conference notice, the 17A, which is the conference brief, 13A, which is the certificate for financial disclosure, 14A, which is an affidavit, but I added some words to it so it prompts you how to fill it out. And we'll discuss that in context. The 6B, which is the affidavit of service, and a 17F, which is a confirmation. Oh my gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, you're going to have to be filling out all of these, okay? And the 14A may be a 13.1 or a 13, but we'll get there. I also included something called a document compliance list, which is my way of trying to help you figure out what the other party hasn't provided. Okay, so we'll talk about that also. The piece de resistance is the sample completed 17A conference brief. When I put these together, these sample documents, it's very hard for me to do it, so that because I'm scraping from previous clients, but I'm obviously changing all the information, and I have to make it relevant for you because every case is different. So I hope in its when we're going to scroll through it, I hope in its entirety it will be helpful for you. And then obviously these presentation slides will be provided to you, and my constant caveat is that I usually make corrections after the performance, so that it reads well. Okay, so here's the agenda. What is it? What is a case conference? How do you schedule one? You have to know your timelines. Getting your act together is probably the most important part. Calculations, disclosure, their disclosure. The conference brief itself, serving and filing, confirmation, case center, and the attendance itself. Holy moly. Are you overwhelmed? I'm a little bit, but the takeaway of this agenda is that the case conference brief is not at the beginning, it's in the middle. Okay, because you can't prepare your brief without getting your act together. Okay, so it's really important to realize that preparation is 4/5 of this attendance. Okay, so now, what is it? What is a case conference? And in order to talk about a case conference, you need to know what a motion is. And I feel like the information out in public doesn't talk about this enough. And I'm a lawyer, so I'm going to tell it to you from a lawyer's perspective. Okay, so let's say you have this court case, just like that.